Good day, gamers. What's going on? The name is AK, owner of Extreme Azure Productions, and I'm here bringing you yet another X React video presentation. And this video is going to be a pretty interesting one. Today I want to talk about some recent comments made by an EA executive. Mr. Patrick Soderlund, who happens to be the vice president of EA Studios, had this to say about their support for the Nintendo NX. Here's what he said in a recent interview. I, personally, and the company are huge fans of Nintendo. They're the reason why I started making games. We're in constant communication with them, and when they come to market something, and if it makes sense, we'll be there. That's all he had to say about EA's support of the Nintendo NX. And I had to read this a couple times because I'm still laughing about it. EA is not the best gaming company, alright? We all know that. For the past few years, they have won the worst Company of the Year award in America. Multiple times they've won that award. It's only up until recently that they began to not win it, but they have still made the nomination list. So yeah, they're a pretty sleazy company. They've done some pretty bad stuff. I won't say that they've redeemed themselves in recent time, but they haven't been as bad as they used to be recently. At least not yet. But we all know, when I say we, I'm talking specifically about Nintendo fans. We all know what happened 3 years ago no, actually 4 years ago, when they came up on the stage at E3 2011 and talked about supporting Nintendo and the Wii U. We remember how Mr. John Riccello came up on that stage. Was it John? It was either John or Peter Moore, one of the two. Anyway, it was the EA CEO. He came up on Nintendo's E3 2011 stage when the company was announcing the Wii U to declare that they and Nintendo had an unprecedented partnership, how the Wii U was the perfect console for all of EA's new titles, and how it was exciting to be able to bring hit games like FIFA and Battlefield and Need for Speed to the new system. You remember that. You know, a lot of third parties, not just EA, but a lot of third parties were saying just how excited they were to bring their games to the Wii U. Nintendo even has, and they still have it actually, uploaded a video interviewing different third-party developers. You know, this is when the Wii U was first announced. They interviewed different third-party developers, and all of them were ecstatic about the system. They were saying how excited they were to bring their games, how they think it was going to be such a big success, and they couldn't wait for it to release. They were saying all a bunch of good things. And of course, we remember how Slightly Mad Studios talked about how Project Cars would be the premier title on Wii U, how it would be the game that would show the power of the system, how they were so excited to bring it to the system to show just how powerful it was and how great of a game it would be on the Wii U. We remember all the good things that third parties said about their relationship with Nintendo and how their development was progressing with the Wii U. We remember all that. And of course, we all know what happened in the end. Third parties abandoned the system within a year. Okay? Within a year, most third-party support was absolutely gone. Fast forward to now, and really the only thing we have coming out are the Lego games. We have Mario Sonic titles, which are developed by Sega. We have Disney Infinity was coming out regularly. Just Dance is still mad. That's the only Ubisoft made game that's still been regularly coming out on Wii U. You know, just these little third-party titles here and there. And I think the biggest thing out of all this is probably the Lego games, because they generally are good. But that's the only real third-party support that Wii U has gotten thus far, outside of indie titles. A lot of which happen to be good, but of course there's still indie titles that are not very big. So yeah, this third-party situation that Nintendo has been in for years now, not even before the Wii U, which Nintendo has been in for quite a few years now, over 20, because it really started since the days of the Nintendo 64, so over 20, we've had this issue with Nintendo and third-party studios. So now, here we are, 2016, Nintendo is going to be releasing the NX next March, and EA is saying that they'll release games on that system if it makes sense. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, first off, I like to say the whole reason why I just talked about all that stuff is just to show how bad the situation is already. So, in a way, it's appropriate for him to say if it makes sense. Really what he means if it makes business sense. The main thing that these companies are chasing after? No, I shouldn't say the main thing. The only thing, the primary thing that these companies are chasing after is making money, alright? That's their number one goal. They are a business. They are a corporation. You are just customers to them. That's why I always have to laugh when fanboys get all mad at each other trying to defend these different companies. Like, it's okay to talk about it and everything, but when you start defending it as if it's your family member that's being attacked or something, that's when there's a problem. Okay, these are companies. You are money to them. That's all you are. You're customers. You're handing them over your money. They're making more money off of you. Okay? What EA is saying, what Mr. Sutherland is saying, is that EA will come to the Nintendo NX if it makes sense. That means they'll come to the NX if there's money to be made there. If EA knows that they can make a couple million off of the NX, they will happily come to that system. Even though the Wii U is underpowered compared to the PS4 and Xbox One, if it happened to be a huge success, I am pretty sure EA would not have ignored the system the same way they've done now. Only because the system has a small install base, that's the only reason why they abandoned the system so quickly. If the Wii U was selling 40, 50 million units by now, I'm pretty sure we'd be seeing Battlefield 1 still coming to the system. The Need for Speed that launched last year would have come to the system. Battlefront, just to name a few, the new Mirror's Edge would all be coming to the system if it were a success. So in like manner, EA is going to come where the money is. And not just EA, but all the other third-party companies. That includes Activision, Ubisoft, Take-Two, WB, Rockstar. I'm just naming a few off the top of my head. All those big third-party companies which are flourishing on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC will happily come to the NX if it's a success. Now, this is a problem that Nintendo finds themselves in. Because they've had such a bad history with third-party companies for, like I said, over 20 years now, it's going to be difficult. Third-party companies are going to come if they know there's money to be made there. But the question is, are gamers going to buy the NX if the games aren't there? If third parties are going to withhold the games until the system becomes a success, then gamers can even buy the system in the first place if they aren't sure if it's really going to be that good of an investment. We don't know yet if the NX is going to be a primarily Nintendo system where it's just Nintendo's first and second party games, or if it's going to be a general system where you can play the latest Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and you can also play the latest Battlefront, Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, Need for Speed, so forth and so on. That's the predicament that Nintendo finds themselves in. And like I said before in past videos, the only way I think that Nintendo is really going to get third-party support offhand is going to be if they start paying for it, okay? Microsoft and Sony already have to money hat each other. They have to come into these partnerships with these third-party companies. Like, for instance, how Microsoft has EA Access, where Xbox One players get early access to EA titles and exclusive content. Alright? When you have a deal like that, it's obvious that Nintendo is going to have some form of partnership with these third-party companies in order to get their games. Okay, even if the NX is an absolutely beautiful system to develop for, even if these developers can get their games running on the NX in 5 minutes, at the end of the day, what matters is, can we make money? And if they can't make money, they're not going to develop the games. Okay, they're not going to. So unless Nintendo actually steps in and at least covers some of the costs, that's the only way I think that we're going to see real third-party support comes to the NX, at least in the very beginning. What I'm hoping is, if they actually do have to do this, that we'll get third-party games in the beginning, people will buy them, and as time goes on, eventually Nintendo can start cutting back, and because they know that it's now a viable market. But until that happens, all I can say is it's going to be very hard for Nintendo to really sell the NX to third-party developers, and in connection, it's going to be hard to sell it to gamers, because gamers want to know that they can buy the system and play all the latest and greatest games. That's why they buy a PlayStation, that's why they buy an Xbox, or that's why they build a PC, to play a multitude of games, not just one category. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this whole thing turns out, but all I can say about EA specifically is either he said this as basic PR, either he's just trying to cover up, saying that they aren't currently developing anything for the system, or they actually are and they're just trying to keep it a secret for right now. We can only wait and see how this thing is going to turn out, but NX is coming in March. That's a little over a year away, well, a little under a year away. Nintendo is going to be revealing the system sometime this year. A whole lot of questions need to be answered about this, and the primary thing is, what can we expect from other developers? Just have to wait and see. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Have a good one. This is AK, owner of Extreme Measure Productions, signing out.